Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back finally returning with more iRacing for 2022 Season 3. Yeah, all new Mercedes cars and as well as the new Radical and Fuji ready for this season. So today we're going to be jumping in the all new Mercedes GT3 here, back in the VRS Sprint Series. Yeah, I think a lot of series on iRacing having some ups and downs in forms in recent months, but the VRS GT3s always stays strong. 40 minutes here at Hockenheim. We start P2 on the grid as the number 7 car. A second away, though, from pole. So I think this one is going to be a defensive drive more than attacking. But when is the leader going to go then? There we go. Out of the final corner. Can't really do a lot about that. Go. And now we've got a Ferrari trying to pull alongside there. I think we will just about hang on by the time we get back down towards turn 1 there. I did worry for a second that he was going to try and make it too wide. And yeah, I think really today the goal is going to be trying to hang on to this Porsche on the pole. But yeah, planning on trying to run a fair amount of this season in the Merc there. As you can just see, I think the Porsche might struggle a little bit early on, but quite a refreshing change of pace. You know, all the GT3s over the last couple of years has been absolute death traps to try and drive. The Merc, though, very, very stable here, is immediately going to go on the offensive as we head down in towards the hairpin here. Surely he's going to try and keep the nose up the inside, on your right, which he will. That's all I wanted to try and go for a switchback there, but he parked it on the apex. But we will get the power down on the exit, so still side by side then on this opening lap around a very, very dark Hockenheim ring, as we're just going to squeeze him to the curbs. And that was not exactly what I thought about doing early on there. I thought honestly that Porsche was just going to run away. But we now take the lead early on here at Hockenheim. I've had a pretty good run of form, actually, around this track in the past. I think I've won a VRS race here before, and then also won one of the 3-hour Enduros back when I used to do those with Joe. They were very, very good fun. And yeah, I think we ended up lapping everyone else in our split then, because we just ended up, for some reason, being the top car in a very, very low split every time. So we were very, very happy with that success. But right in the final couple of turns then of lap 1, just trying to keep it within track limits there. Just that final sector is really where the Porsche will come alive. I'll actually get a 0x there as Porsche just runs into the back of me as we head back down towards turn 1. Luckily only a 0x there. That could have very easily been a 4x, and you might just have a tiny bit of aero damage. We might have the rear bumper just slightly graze, but that's probably not going to cost as much as just locking up a little bit down at turn 2. Making a couple of little mistakes here early on. And I think we've really got to try and work together with this Porsche early on in this race. But I'd love to start 2022 Season 3 with a win here. But yeah, it's just not allowing either of us to break free at the start. It seems like top-end speed pretty good in this car. Snagging the brakes though at the end of the back straight there, and that's going to allow the Porsche straight back up the inside. Horrible little error there. Don't let him get away. So yeah, we definitely don't want to let him get away. Should be able to get the run though. So we head down in towards the next corner. Ooh, braking very early. What is going on here early on? Clear left, on your left. Oh, ah! It's all getting a bit messy as we just get a little blip of oversteer. Right side's clear. So now we're down to P3, and cars are trying to look for moves everywhere. So we just chop it in front of the Audi. Porsche's gone round, Merc in the gravel trap. This is carnage to start the year as we suddenly go down the middle and back up into the lead then of this race. It's all kicking off early on, and somehow, despite all that, I mean, unfortunately we've got a 4x, but we are somehow still in the lead here. Going to be about, I think, 27 laps here, 26 laps there or thereabouts, and now suddenly, yeah, we're up into a pretty good position here, and the Porsche that was so much faster in qualifying.
Last lap was a 140.5. The guy behind has just done a 139.4.
You can just see there, everyone, yeah, behind us going so much faster, but we need to try and start hitting our marks early on now. We've been given a lifeline in this race. Two of the most competitive runners dropping way down the order, so they're going to have to try and go on a bit of a fight back here. Don't think the Merc's dropped back too badly, but the Porsche certainly has. As now, yeah, we've got a good opportunity here just to try and work with Chang early on. Fingers crossed, just create a bit of a gap. It's down into the hairpin we go. I'm just trying to get it slowed down nice and early this time round. And get on the power nice and tidy on the exit. We need to work on consistency in this car. I ran quite a few laps in practice just trying to get to grips with
Don't let
it.
this guy distract you. He's
And it
faster
does
than
feel
you.
very, very
That's your
good.
ignored curve.
But we've just got to keep it smooth in the mud. You know, it's very, very different to a lot of the GT3s that I've driven in recent years. Feels a bit more like an old school GT3 car here, even though it is the Evo version. So we just head down through into the stadium section there. Don't want 4th gear through there. Definitely want to be down in 3rd for the engine brake and the rotation. As we head down through the hairpin though. Yeah, crazy, crazy start here at the Hockenheim, but somehow we've come out of it basically unscathed. Just a little bit of contact in a couple of spots.
The gap behind is now 1.1.
Super difficult as well, of course, to try and spot your rotation points, your braking points, everything like that in the dark. You know,
You've just done a 137.5.
it's just that whole thing of not really knowing where the front end is going, especially in a car that tends to understeer a bit more.
The guy behind has just done a 137.4.
So guy behind then, still looking very, very racy early on here, but of course we have got the trump card that is track position. Of course, as big a thing here at the Hockenheim, because you've just got this monstrous, I guess, is it really a straight? Back straight slash curve. I mean, it's not really a corner in any modern day car, but yeah, it does just allow the guy behind just to try and send it down at the hairpin if he's feeling brave. But yeah, in terms of fuel strategy though, today of course, as always in the VRS sprints, you have got to make a stop. Yeah, obviously never want to pit for fuel. Never want to pit for tyres in these races. But I'm gonna top up just over half tank of fuel here. I feel like the Merc.
Don't be intimidated. Keep him behind you.
It definitely gives off heavy drinker vibes. So yeah, we are definitely still got places that were a bit quicker than the guy behind, and places where he's definitely a bit stronger than us. Just trying not to upset the car too much, you know, trying to just lean into it, learn the car a lot. Just fingers crossed the pace will slowly come to us there, as that's the line you want through there. 4th gear is the way to go. Just with a little bit of scrubbing off speed there, you know, not being too aggressive, not being crazy with it. And the pace will come there, as fingers crossed through the final couple of turns. Don't do anything stupid. You know, these final 2 corners, we've really got to try and make it to one nice smooth motion there, which we definitely haven't that time. But up to the line, it's going to be a new PB. And that is going to be a straight down into the 37.3s.
The guy behind has just done a 137.2.
So there we go. We pretty much matched times that time around there. Just 0.03 of a second between us. This is going to get good. Chang definitely just staying a little bit closer at the moment. Just every lap he seems to just take, you know, half a tenth out of me. And it's definitely down into the hairpin. He seems a whole lot braver than I'm willing to be at the moment. Gap still floating at around 0.2 of a second. Or as I tried to be brave into the hairpin, and that might just be an open door for him.
On your right, clear right.
Oh no, it's not. He's looped it.
I think P2 spinned it in. Spitz care hairpin.
How has he looped it by himself there under braking? That was very, very weird. I'm pretty certain he was in the Merc as well. Certainly wasn't any contact at all. I don't know whether he just took too much curb or what there, but that seemed very weird, and somehow accidentally a mistake from me with 0 contact has just made this race a whole lot more lonely, to be honest. Very, very dark here at the Hockenheim ring. I'm pretty certain the race start was pretty much at midnight.
It looks like it's Banks.
And I think they were all just piling into each other, so now immediately we ended up with an 8-second lead. I don't know what's happening here, but it seems to be working in my favour. So I guess we're not going to knock it too much. It's very, very weird early laps here at the Hockenheim ring. But yeah, now if we can just try and escape and break free at the front, I'd be very, very happy there. As just trying to enjoy this, like I said, learn the car, learn how it handles. Yeah, this gap just going up and up and up at the moment. Very, very weird.
137.6.
We've hardly been driving particularly brilliantly early on, but
Good consistency. Keep them coming.
a 9-second lead after 8 laps is certainly, yeah, not what I expected or felt like we probably should have got here.
The gap behind is now 9.5.
First 1x of the day for
Run out
off
of track
tracks.
limits. Keep it between the lines.
A little bit of a, I mean, that's always the typical error I seem to make around this venue, but I mean, don't know whether just a lot of the cars around us have got damage or what, but we are just pulling away early on. 8.8 still the gap, so Nicholas behind definitely isn't a slouch, but yeah, we can't really knock it at the moment.
You've used half your fuel.
Right, so we've used half fuel then in about 15 minutes, so yeah, I think another half a tank to the end is safely all we need. And yeah, that should take us to about, we should pit with about 12 minutes left on the clock, so yeah, that's pretty much perfect then. We'll just have a little bit extra, you know, we don't want to do, you know, don't want to underfuel the car and have to box again later on in the day, especially when we've got a 10-second lead. There is really no need for risk-taking at this stage of the afternoon. And again, this is just a good little test session at the moment. That's what this race feels like. A debut for the GT3 Evo Merc, especially when you consider, of course, this is its home venue as well.
Looks like P4 has gone off in Spitzcare hairpin.
More issues down at the hairpin for people. Don't know if people are just getting too brave on the brakes on the way in and trying to tip the car in with too much speed, or was there a bit of contact there because there's two cars very, very close together. Because that was a bit close for comfort. Almost dropped it in the gravel. But luckily Hockenheim pretty good for track limits on the most part. It's a pretty lenient venue. So we've really got no excuse to end up with sort of more than 6 or 7 instant points. Here it is just through this final hairpin. I tend to struggle, and even more so in the dark. Like I said, it's just like trying to work out where the nose is, work out where it's going relative to the track around you. It can get very sort of disorientating very quickly. 1:38.2 isn't much to write home about, but we have definitely got the pace to get down into the low 37, sorry. Just don't really sort of see any need to risk it at the moment. There's no point chasing new lap records, and we got a 10-second lead. I mean, that's an odd 1x.
Track limits.
That was not my finest. Very, very weird. This car understeered, and again, just in the darkness, I just couldn't seem to spot it.
The guy behind has just done a 1:37.4.
Behind, just improving the pace a little bit. Guess we probably should answer that back with a good lap here. It did take 3/10 at me that time. I'm still floating though. It's already 2/10 off my personal best. We've definitely got the pace for a 36. And again, don't want to risk too much trying to chase it.
The gap behind's increased to 10 seconds.
So here we go, up to the line. That's going to be a 36. Wouldn't have a clue what the fast lap of the day is. Oh, there we go. That is fastest of the day then. 36.91. That just sort of tells everyone, you know what? Just don't even bother. You've got to play psychological games in racing, and that is one of the best tricks you can pull out there. A second pulled that time round on P2.
Focus. That's 20 minutes to go. Half distance.
Because now we cross over half distance.
Fuel left.
Team, yeah, I reckon about 9 minutes of fuel left, so we're going to be absolutely fine in that regard. And yeah, Mikhail in P3 just starting to take a little bit of time out of P2 now. So I mean, if they start battling, it could all play in our favour. It's that time round. First time I think all day. I feel like I've actually nailed the hairpin there. But yeah, Mikhail just taking time out of Nicholas. So there we go. Mikhail in P3 then, new fastest of the day there. Just goes 400ths quicker than me. And yeah, those two are definitely probably going to get locked into battle quite soon. It's a good lap by him though. So we might have to be careful towards the end. I'll get him round towards the pit window then. 15 minutes left on the clock, and we're just coming up towards Dylan, who I think is in the Merc as well. I want to say it's the Merc, but it might be the BMW actually looking at it. Saying that. Yeah, no, it's the Audi. That is terrible spotting skills by me there. Down at the end of the back straight, but yeah, looks like at the moment Mikhail all over the back now of Nicholas just behind, so I think they're going to get locked into battle there, and that could easily get fanned out just through the pit stops in case, you know, one of them just puts a little bit less fuel in than the other, takes a bit of a gamble, something like that for track position, because you can save a little bit around this circuit. 2 laps worth of fuel left for us. I think we're going to box the end of next one, so I'll just try and keep the nose in nice and tidy there. Front tyres not giving up necessarily, but certainly not quite providing us with the same confidence they did earlier on in the event. Here is fingers crossed we're going to try and get to the back of this Audi. Always nice to try and chase someone again in a race like this, especially, you know, when we have spent a fair chunk of it sort of by ourselves there. As there he goes. Nicholas is going to jump out the way. Sorry, not Nicholas, Dylan even. Going to jump out the way down the start-finish straight.
Very little fuel left. Coming to the pits at the end of this lap. Box this lap.
Do love the fact you can really chuck the car over the curbs around quite a lot of this venue. Don't love it when you try and understeer your way through turn 2 though, because of course that can compromise your run all the way up the back straight here, as you can see. You know, just I love the fact, you know, especially doing these night races, you know, the fact you've just got like a set of lights that flies past you in a weird and wonderful direction. And, you know, there's obviously everyone else completely different paths in this race. So we head down into the hairpin. Nice and tidy, there we go. But yeah, at the moment though, just getting ready to box in at the end of this lap. Of course, don't need to take any risks on pit entry there, as Cal still trying to hang on at the moment. So just getting a little bit close to the grass there. You know, can sometimes be a little bit difficult to spot your markers, spot your braking points here, as we are up to 6x then
in this lap.
In this race. Team want us in, of course, at the end of this one. And that's definitely what I'm going to do. So we do not have enough fuel to go for another one here. But yeah, this Merc though, how do I feel about this Merc towards the end of the first week of racing? Well, it's very much a story similar to the old one. A brilliant little car if you're a beginner on iRacing. Ooh. That was beyond stupid. Come on, get the car into the pits. That was not my finest driving. Make sure we get it slowed down now. That was not particularly brilliant.
Kilometers per hour.
Are we going to see the cars behind? Yeah, we are. So now we've only got 1 second lead then in this race. That was rather stupid, as we're going to have one of the last boxes. And now, just put a little bit of fuel in the car. Where have we got 1:18 minutes worth of optionals? Car feels fine, so I'm not going to worry about that. As we get ready to go racing once more then. And we have been a little bit over on the fuel. And this is actually going to put us under a lot of pressure then. In fact, it's not going to put us under... What are you doing? It's actually going to put us down to P2 then in this race. So big mistake there in the pit cycle. I mean, we're going to be pretty safe on fuel to the end, but now we have accidentally got ourselves a race in the final 10 minutes or so here from Hockenheim. Luckily, it's McCall in front of us, so I've definitely got pace over, so we need to try and get back round him. No, we don't have pace over McCall. It was Nicholas, wasn't it? But we had the pace over, so we might have just given McCall a big opportunity here. We're going to have to really concentrate now in the final few laps of this race, because I do not want to throw away what was looking like quite a comfortable little victory early on. Just that small mistake into the pit lane there. Tried to do my best in impression.
Quicker than us entering
now the red mist has descended. We need to try and get back up into the lead of this race.
The gap ahead is now 1.0 seconds. 10 minutes remaining. 10 minutes.
It looks already like Ryan just up the road isn't going to let the Merc pass where he wants him to. So just not quite getting the car where we need it through turn 1. Luckily not a 1x there. The Merc's actually going to have to try and go for the overtake here. Down in towards turn 2. Seems to be trying to get a switchback on him or something. Either way, hopefully he'll give me a nice bit of slipstream as we head down the back straight. That, yeah, really hasn't worked out
clear right
for McCall just in front there. Gap now down to 0.7 of a second. But this race is certainly far from over at the moment. Now, out of nowhere, we got a race on our hands. Try not to brake too late into the hairpin. And that time round, we get it slowed down pretty beautifully, if I do say so myself. Just so deceptive watching the other cars around you. Just try and take slightly different lines. As why now? Why can I not hit the line through turn 1?
Just cut the track.
That was an awful line through the first corner. And at the moment, oh there we go. Bit of a mistake from McCall as he tries to put the power down out of the first turn. Should give me a little bit of extra speed as we head down the back straight. But yeah, we've really got to focus. We've really got to concentrate here. Let's try to make sure we're taking time out of him each and every lap. Because, yeah, just trying to get close again is going to be key. Just got to fill his mirrors. He's definitely not unbeatable here. He has made a few mistakes over the last couple of laps, but we've also done the same. We're just quick in different parts of the circuit at the moment.
Front is now 1.0.
So I seem to be a little bit brave on the brakes down into there. That time around, he hits his marks quite nicely, and then through here he just seems to have a line that I just can't quite match. So he just seems to be able to get the car wedged out over that curb on the exit, and then just really launch himself out of that final corner. The gap's still 7/10 as we cross the line. So that's a new PB, I think, for me. Where has the rotation gone through turn 1? As we both almost set a new PB, but he does extend the gap again by another couple of hundredths. Shouldn't be using first through there as well. That's going to compromise my run. Come on, Matt. Final 3 laps then here from the Hockenheim ring, and the gap still floating at about the 1 second mark there as we're really trying to attack the curbs through turn 1. I don't know how every time he seems to just be able to pull away a little bit through a lot of the corners, but I've just chewed the front tyres a bit more, something like that. It's just look at that through turn 2. Huge amount of understeer there, just cannot get the car slowed down where we need it, and that's just going to be another couple of tenths that he pulls away there, and I think we're just going to have to accept defeat here.
10 minutes of fuel remaining.
I've got no idea where he's finding that extra pace in this car, but I just cannot match it at the moment there. I don't know if it's just different ABS settings or what, but we just cannot hit our marks. It's just, look at the understeer through the hairpin. It just keeps him to snag the brakes right as you get in towards the rotation phase there, and it is just compromises us every single braking zone at the moment. So just even through here, a little bit of a wobble on the way in. We just cannot get the bite out of the front tyres there. Whether he's, like I said, I tend to chew through my tyres on iRacing, and little mistakes like that are certainly not going to make it any easier for us, and I think at the moment it's looking pretty good for him. So we just haven't got anything left through the corners. You can see we're still just trying to push, just trying to stick close in case he makes a mistake. We seem to be pretty good still through a couple of the corners right towards the end of the lap, but it's not enough to make the difference at the moment.
Just 2 minutes
through
left,
the final
2 minutes
turn.
to go.
It's probably one of the best lines I've done through there all day, but still just hesitating on the throttle. You can see the gap still 1.5 seconds.
That was 1:37.
Where's the nose gone? Through turn 1.
We'll be warned about track limits.
12x as well is awful towards the end of this one, but the red mist has well and truly descended. And look at that, we've just got nothing we can do through the corners. I mean, we pulled away from Nicholas behind again, but yeah, just very, very heartbreaking. You know, you feel like you're pushing, feel like you're extracting everything out of the car. I mean, it was my own stupid fault. It's rather not in this battle. Maybe, you know, it is just the difference whether he's got a little less fuel in, a little less weight in the car. I mean, just look at that. Down at the hairpin, it's just not working for me. Try and get a good run off the exit of the corner. But by that point, we've lost another couple of tenths every single time at the moment. We lose 3 tenths on corner entry and might gain a tenth back. I mean, yeah, this one should have been a nice, comfortable race victory, to be honest. I don't know how he's taken the line he is through here either.
Incident in Sachs.
As we head down the final few corners of the penultimate lap. Yeah, it has just all come away from me in this one today. So whether it's just we've overfueled the car a bit more than he has, and now we just got too much weight on it, or a case of we've just bled the tyres a little bit more, or a combination of the both. But as you can just see through the final few corners of this penultimate lap, we've just got nothing against him. White flag, 1 more to go though, and our only hope now is either he makes a mistake or he's accidentally not put enough fuel in the car. See there, he sets a 36.6. There's no way we can get close to that.
Looking good for a podium.
Again, another horrible line through turn 1. Yeah, like I said, it's a heartbreaking way to end what was quite a dominant display in the early stages, but that's the way racing goes sometimes. Yeah, definitely just taking way too much out of the tyres here at the Hockenheim ring. No idea where this series is heading this season, to be honest. I did have a quick look through the schedule. You know, there's a couple of other championships as well that I want to give a go. But yeah, I don't know how he's able to extract the time he is out of the car still. Finally a good line through the hairpin again. If only we could have been doing that for the last few laps, that would have been quite nice, but not the way it's going to end up being here, unfortunately. And yeah, like I said, had we not made that mistake into the pit lane there, this one would have been an absolute walk. But I think the podium streak I've had at the Hockenheim ring is going to continue here. So, you know, I mean, P2 is hardly something to be too disappointed about, but when we had such an easy race early on, you know, just to throw it away under no pressure whatsoever, it's a rather gutting feeling. But through the final few corners then, here at the Hockenheim, it's not quite going to be, I mean, it's not a bad debut for the Merc. So it's going to be another Evo that walks away with the dub, but round in the final corner. P2 on the grid, P2 at the checkered flag. They should have had a whole lot more from that, but that's the way racing goes sometimes. Sorry, I mean, Liam recovered all the way up to P5 in the end. That's a very, very good job done by him. And that was so disappointing there at the checkered flag. We'll go have a look at the final race results, but yeah, not what I wanted at all. And there we go then, having a look at the final race results. I mean, McCall, yeah, from 18th on the grid, walks away with the race victory there. We had, how many instant points did we end up with there? 12, but I mean, he had 9 as well. So we didn't do too badly in that regard. 81 iRating though brings us back over 2.1k as well, which I guess we can take quite nicely there. And yeah, I mean, were the only UK and Ireland driver in the entire thing? No, we had one other guy who retired quite early on there. But thank you all so much for watching this video nonetheless. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like and get yourself subscribed. And we will return very, very soon with more iRacing content.